Hey guys, so today is Tuesday, April 21st, or this is the lesson for Tuesday, April 21st. I wanted to go over our very last new material that we'll be covering for the remainder of this year. So we're on lesson 5.9 on page number 247. So you can go ahead and turn there in your books. As I said, this is the last lesson we'll be covering for this year, and then we're going to turn our focus to the quiz we'll be taking shortly, and then we're going to start studying for our final exam. Okay, so today, page 247, we're going to look at Pythagorean theorem by areas. So we had covered back in chapter number 4, I believe it was, the Pythagorean theorem already, but we're going to look at this as it deals with the area of a triangle, area of polygon, or so on and so forth. So we're going to go back to this, but we're going to look at it in a different way. Okay, so go ahead and open your book to page 248. We're just going to jump right into these theorems. I just want to cover the theorems today and explain them to you. Okay, so we're on page number 248. We are going to look at first theorem number 75. Okay, theorem 75. Theorem 75 states the square on the hypotenuse of a right triangle is equal to the sum of the squares on the two legs. Okay, so let's explain what this means. I have a right triangle. I'm going to name this right triangle ABC. Okay, now theorem 75 is stating that my hypotenuse squared, okay, so in this case, this is my hypotenuse, so AC squared is equal to the sum of the two legs squared. Okay, so this is equal to AB, okay, which is this leg squared, plus BC squared. Okay, so theorem 75 is stating that my hypotenuse squared is the same or equal to, if I were to take side AB and square it and add it to side BC squared. Okay, so theorem 75 would lay out something like this. Now, let's take a look real quickly at corollary 75-1. Okay, corollary 75-1 says the square on one leg of a right triangle is equal to the square on the hypotenuse diminished by the square on the other leg. So what is this saying? Well, if I take the same triangle, okay, and I pick one leg, so let's pick leg AB, okay. Now, again, it doesn't specify which leg. We just know it's one of the legs. We can take one of the legs, and we're going to square that. This leg squared is going to be equal to my hypotenuse squared, okay, which is AC, okay, diminished by or subtracted. If you subtract, then the other leg, which is BC squared. Okay, so corollary 75-1 states I can take any leg of my right triangle, square it, and that is going to be equal to my hypotenuse squared minus the other leg squared. Okay, so now I can switch these around. It doesn't have to be this side or this side specifically. It can be either one. So I can say that BC squared is equal to my hypotenuse squared minus my other leg squared. Okay, so theorem 75 is saying I can take either one of these legs, I can square, and it's going to be equal to the measure of my hypotenuse squared minus the measure of my other side squared. Okay, so that's what theorem 75-1 states. Okay, last one is corollary. I'm sorry, that was corollary 75-1. Now we've got corollary 75-2. Okay, if similar polygons are constructed on the three sides of a right triangle, the sum of the polygons on the legs is equal to the polygon on the hypotenuse. Now, what in the world does that mean? Okay, so let's look into our books here. And up by Theorem 75, you'll see a diagram drawn out that looks something like this. Okay, we've got hypotenuses drawn off of all three sides of my triangle. Okay, this is my right angle here. Okay, so this is my hypotenuse. These are my legs. Okay, so corollary 75-2 is saying if all of these polygons are similar, okay, and they're constructed off of the three sides of my right triangles, the sum of the polygons on the legs, okay, which would be this one here and this one here, okay, the sum of the polygons on the legs would be equal to the polygon on the hypotenuse, okay? So if I were to take the sum of this one and this one, okay, add the sum together, all right, this is going to equal the polygon that's on my hypotenuse, all right? So if that makes sense, hopefully that makes sense to you. But Theorem 75 is talking about if we take a right triangle, we create polygons off of it. The sum of the polygons on the two legs is going to equal the polygon that is off the hypotenuse, that's drawn off the hypotenuse, okay? So those were the last three theorems that I wanted to cover for this year. So we're going to stop with the new lessons at this point, okay? I'm not going to give you any homework for tonight either. I just wanted to give you that material to add to your notes so that we can do as much of the final exam as we can. We got so close to finishing this book, guys. I'm really disappointed that we're ending up spending the rest of the year with our video lessons like this. But I hope it was a good year. I hope that you guys learned at least something. I hope I didn't make it too difficult for you. And I really, really enjoyed teaching this class. It surprised me, actually. I found that this became one of my favorite classes with you guys. So I want to thank you guys for really jumping in and working hard, and you maintained good grades throughout the year, and I'm happy for that as a teacher. That makes me very, very happy, and I'm really, really sincerely proud of you guys and how you've handled the work of this particular subject. This is a difficult subject, but you guys stuck in there and did what you had to do, and I'm very, very happy with the grades that you guys have pulled so far. So from this point forward, we're going to tomorrow we'll review the quiz that we'll be taking, and then we're going to jump into studying for our final exam. Okay, so we'll take some time to study for our final exam. Once I feel like we've covered the majority of the material that we need for the final exam, then we'll pick a date to take that, and we'll close out this subject a little earlier than planned. So that's the plan. Tonight, no homework. Just make sure you get all those new theorems down in your book. And I just wanted to let you guys know how super proud I am of you guys. And I've really had a good time teaching you guys in this class. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it as well. And we will take the next couple of weeks to go over some material for our quizzes and our quiz and our final exam, and hopefully get us ready to take the final exam next week. So all right, guys, that's all I have for you today, and we will talk to you later. Bye-bye.